few because I want to personalize
I want to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order, and the first order of business is roll call.
Cowell? Here. Zach?
it. Here.
Long? Here. Cobb? Here. Fleming?
Here.
Crawford?
Here.
Woodward?
Here.
Bowman?
Here.
Middleton?
Here. We have a quorum. Before we have the Pledge of Allegiance, McCabe, Under Sheriff McCabe, we've had a loss in Sheriff's family, and we'd like to, would you update us?
Sure, I sent you all an email. I don't know if you got it or not. One of our deputies who works in the forensic lab was killed tragically earlier this week in Orlando. She's been with us about 4 years. She's one of those people you see on CSI. So yeah, she's in the latent print section. Fantastic employee. She was living the dream, working in the job that she's been promoted twice since she's been here. Jennifer Geringer, married just over a year. Her husband and her were on vacation in Orlando. They were walking in one of those crosswalks. If you've been to Orlando, up near the convention center on Universal Boulevard, you know, you push it's not if you push the button and then the yellow flashing lights go off, supposed to allow you to walk across, and some idiot at about 45 miles an hour ran right through it, hit her, killed her instantly, fled the scene. Security guard chased the guy down, was able to get him to come back, and the Florida Highway Patrol took him into custody. Very, very tragic. The funeral is going to be this Saturday. The body came back just yesterday night, or the night before that. And we're obviously very upset about what occurred, and just ask for your prayers for the family. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have a moment of silence before we give the pledge, so we can rise and a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we have need a motion to approve the minutes of September 14th and August 31st. Crawford moved it. Bowman supported it. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. The next is presentation of the agenda. I don't have any changes. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as printed? Kowal and Fleming. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Public comment, and we have a couple public comments today. Chris?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think I've had a chance to introduce Haley to almost all the commissioners, I don't think everybody yet, but also to friends and all the accounting departments. Haley's our new community liaison, and appreciate it if you could welcome her, and look forward to working with all of you I know.
Okay.
Haley.
Also, Jordy, do you have a?
Yes, just a reminder, today's the Wellness Fair. It's over at Oakland Schools, and it runs until 2 p.m.
Okay, is there any other public comments? If there's no other public comment, I'll close that, and we will move on to the consent agenda, or the contingency report. Need a motion to receive and file contingency. Taub and Fleming, so go ahead.
Good morning.
Oh, we have a blue sheet on it.
Yeah,
And the blue sheet is entries of 829 were omitted from the one that was on your iPad. So this blue sheet includes entries dated 829. Go ahead, Kate.
So on page 1 of the report, which is page 23 of your PDF, you have a general contingency balance of $130,922. There are no items on today's agenda that impact that amount. Moving on to page 6, which is page 28 of your PDF. Under miscellaneous capital outlay, there are 2 items. One for facilities planning and engineering furniture replacement for $6,967. Then District Court Troy furniture replacement for $3,919. leaving a balance of $69,795. Then moving on to page 12, which is page 34 of your PDF. There are two items using assigned fund balance. The first one is item number 1 on your agenda, which is a tri-party item for the Charter Township of Orion in the amount of $112,439. And then item number 5 on your agenda, which is for the Department of Health and Human Services for $600,000 for the area agency Aging 1B. And then you mentioned the blue sheet, which is the updated West Nile program.
I will just add that last week at the board meeting on the 28th, we did have 3 resolutions that were adopted that impact 2018 equity for the use of Board of Commissioner projects. It was $200,000, and that will be reflected when we start producing the 2018 equity report. We're still closing 2017.
Okay, thank you. And that was passed because we overrode the rules and took up the resolution without coming through committee, so thank you. Okay, any, we need a vote on it? Oh, no, I already did, okay. Next is communications. I'll take a motion to receive and file communications A and B, Kowal and Fleming. Now, is there a question on it? Shelley?
Yeah, but I have to find it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's
Pull your mic around. McCabe? Coming in.
I just want to know what this thing is, an ATT tactical battle bunker.
Well, with what happened in Las Vegas, it could come in very handy, unfortunately, but it's something that protects the SWAT team in situations like what occurred in Las Vegas, where they basically have ballistic protection from high-powered rifles, and we're using forfeiture funds to pay
Is it a
for it.
mobile unit or is it a shields like?
It's a shield.
Okay, that they carry, they
Yes.
don't, yeah.
They physically carry, they do not wear.
No, they have body armor that they wear.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on communications? If not, a motion to receive and file, we have that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. Okay, next we are on the consent agenda. We only have one item on consent agenda. It's a tri-party. A motion to receive, to vote on the consent agenda. Wade and Woodward. If there's no discussion, call the roll.
Kowal? Yes. Zach?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Cobb?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Woodward?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes, motion carries, thank you. Now we're on the regular agenda. Oakland County Health Network, OCHN, reimbursement for Jail Alliance with support JAWS program and inmate caseworker position. Need a motion. Zach is moving it, Todd is supporting it. So, and I have names. We have Melissa McCullen and Matt Costello.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Melissa. Yeah.
Good morning to the board. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I am here to authorize acceptance of reimbursement funding from Oakland County Health Network for our inmate casework positions as it relates to 2 part-time inmate casework positions and 1 full-time inmate casework positions. And this funding is coming from the Oakland County Health Network. I have with me our program supervisor, Matt Costello, who's going to give you a brief overview of the program, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Matt?
The JAWS is an acronym for Jail Alliance with Support. It is an in-jail, post-book jail diversion program cooperatively run with the Easter Seals organization as well as the Sheriff's Program Services caseworkers. This program is designed as a intervention program for individuals who are receiving psychiatric services within the jail. They complete a structured cognitive behavioral program consisting of 4 straight weeks, open-ended. Once that program is completed, we approach the court or courts of record for consideration for a post-book jail diversion, getting them out of jail in a more structured manner. The goal here is really to create a warm handoff from the jail to the community for individuals within the jail who are, again, utilizing mental health services. So we're strengthening that transition to the community. The second part of the proposal is also for the part-time caseworker, or the caseworker assigned to the individual services. About 30% of the sheriff's population of over 400 individuals inside the jail at any given time are open with a psychiatrist. Oakland County Health Network, as a recognition of that, is paying the salary-only portion for that particular position, so the sheriff's office can interact with, provide services for, and create solutions for this challenging population within inside our structure.
Okay. Any questions? If not, call the roll on item number 2.
Zach?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Taub?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Woodward?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Cowell? Yes. Middleton?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Next is item number 3, Human Resources Department authority to approve optional supplementary incentives to difficult to recruit positions. Taub and Zach. Okay, go ahead.
We're bringing forth this resolution to request authority for Human Resources and Management budget to collectively approve the optional supplementary incentive to allow for a faster acceptance for those difficult to recruit positions across the county departments. Previously, we had 2 resolutions, one from 2001, which allowed us to bring forth each request for HR committee approval, and then one in 2013 which authorized Human Resources and Management budget to approve the use of the incentive for those difficult to recruit positions at information technology. In July, we brought a request to utilize the incentive for a position at the medical examiners, and it was suggested at that time that we bring another resolution through authorizing Human Resources and Management budget to collectively approve these. So the same criteria will apply under this resolution. It's for difficult to recruit positions, those highly technical, specific skill sets. It is a one-time payment. It's not to exceed 5% of the maximum salary or $5,000. Fiscal Services verifies funds are available. There is a signed agreement that the employee will repay the bonus if they leave within 1 year of the start date. And then HR will provide a report to the Human Resources Committee at the end of each year detailing any use of the incentive.
Any questions? In Human Resources, we discussed this.
Yes.
That in negotiations, to stop and say, well, we're going to ask if we can give a supplemental, and we have to go to committee. It'll be a month. We'll tell you if we can give you the. So what this resolution will do will be at the negotiations, you can negotiate it as smoothly and get it done. Where in the past we've had to go through the committee process, it really breaks up the negotiations. This will be a good tool for Human Resources and the departments. So, yes, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple questions. Like how many positions right now would we say that we're in the difficult to recruit category?
Right now, we're okay. Like I said, we brought one in July for a deputy forensic pathologist at the medical examiners. That's mostly, we utilize it for those positions. There's a few at IT. And then back in 2005, we utilized it when we had a nursing shortage. So it doesn't get used very often.
Okay. And this is not going to be like a separate fund. This will just be using dollars already that exist in.
It'll be from favorability within the department's personnel budget because of the turnover. They're not at maximum employment, so they have that favorability to be able to utilize this incentive.
Is there a way to have, I don't know, a quarterly report or at least an annual report of like how many positions? Like, I guess, there's 2 things. When this is used, when this is needed?
We are. We're going to bring it back annually.
Okay.
Yes, when we use it.
That sounds good. All right.
Okay, it comes to it's part of the resolution to come to Human Resources.
Right.
You want it to come to everybody, or that's?
What do you mean by resolution?
The report, And further be resolved, Human Resources Department shall provide the Human Resources Committee a detailed report.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine,
Okay.
yeah. There's one last question, like, is the, I guess, difficult to recruit, is it based on number of applicants coming in?
Typically, it's,
I mean,
yeah,
that's-
those
I mean, I guess,
limited
is there
pool.
established criteria that's gonna be used uniformly?
Yes.
Or is, I mean, are different departments going to use different standards?
No, we use the same criteria.
Beautiful.
Okay. If there's no other questions, call the roll on item number 3.
Long,
Yes.
Tubbs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Cowell. Yes. Zach,
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Next is item number 4, Department of Health and Human Services, Children's Village Division, Children and Adult Care Food Program, grant acceptance. Need a motion. Taub is moving it. Colwell is supporting it. Go ahead.
Morning. This is our second grant reimbursement program for meals at Children's Village. I brought the other one through a couple of weeks ago. This is exclusively for our shelter care, and it provides reimbursement for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. It's administered by the Michigan Department of Education for Agriculture. The exact grant amount is unknown because it'll be dependent on how many meals we serve. Last year, our total food costs were $821,296. This program reimbursed us approximately $82,000. We received the highest possible reimbursement because we're registered as an emergency shelter. And the funding period is July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Okay. Any questions? If not, call the roll.
Tubbs,
On item
Yes.
number 4. Yep.
Fleming,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Cowell. Yes. Zach,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you.
Next is the Department of Health and Human Services, Health Division, funding for Area Agency on Aging, 1B Community Living Program Services. Need a motion. Fleming and Top. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Kathy.
Good morning. This funding is to help reduce or eliminate the highest priority of need for the community living program at AAA 1B. These funds allow residents to stay in their home rather than have to go to skilled nursing or perhaps have an unnecessary hospital stay. And this, as I said, is those that have been deemed with the highest need, called Priority 0.
Commissioner Top, Commissioner Long, it was before your committee earlier
Yes.
this week. No problem?
No problem, madam. Great
Okay.
presentation.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Top.
Yes, thank you. Excuse me, I have an amendment here, and we discussed this in general government. Let me just see if I can't pass some of these out. Hold on. I want to take some, take 3. And the amendment reads, now therefore be it resolved that the Oakland County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the partnership with the Area Agency on Aging 1B, one-time funding of $600,000 to supplement the community living program services to eliminate the wait list for Priority 0 individuals who are residents of Oakland County. And I'm saying that because Area Agency on Aging 1B has multiple counties in it, and we're not going to get real picky and say, gee, Mrs. Smith moved in with her daughter in Oakland County, now she's a resident. We're not going to be that silly, but I would hope that this money would only be used for our residents, basically, or residents or seniors who are living with family members.
Okay, Shelley, is this the form of a motion?
Yes, I'd like to move it.
You're moving this amendment. We need a support. Need a support for the amendment. Wade will support it, so. Okay, go ahead if you want to discuss
No, well,
it.
that's it.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Zach.
So, I agree that this funding is to serve Oakland County residents, and that's the intent of the Area Agency on Aging 1B. But how do we define residency, and how are we going to be tying their hands? Because I brought my father up from Florida a few years ago, and he put him into a place in Oakland County, and I live here, yet he was a Florida resident for 35 years. So I just think that I'd rather not approve this and empower our wonderful agency to use the money to serve Oakland County residents and maybe their parents without tying us.
Yeah.
It's just, it's,
Okay.
there's
Wait,
no
let
flexibility
Commissioner
here.
Zach
So I
finish.
would rather just leave it in their hands to do that, rather than, tying them to this exact wording.
Okay, Commissioner Long, did you have a comment?
Well, maybe Commissioner Taub could put something, because I agree with Commissioner Zach. We had a little discussion in general government, because your mom could come with you and you can have them living there 4 years, they could still have residency and voting absentee from a different state. And so maybe we can amend it to say, like, I don't know, residing with Oakland County, or a family member or something to include. I get where Commissioner Taub's coming from, because $600,000 is a lot of money. We don't want to go into different counties. It's for the wait list in Oakland County. So I know where she's coming from, but if we can word it where if a family member is staying with the, Oakland County resident or something, somehow a little bit different, so it doesn't tie their hands, that a family member can with them. So if someone has an idea,
I have a solution.
Okay, I got Commissioner Kowal and then Commissioner Woodward.
So I could take a good friend into my home to take care of them, but they live elsewhere. So, where does this end? I agree with the spirit of the amendment, but I don't know how to define it so that,
Can I interject?
where do you stop? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and comment on it.
We can go whichever way the commission pleases. If we have someone that's questionable, like in your circumstance, Commissioner Kowal, we can depend on other resources that we have, other the federal funds under the program when that when a slot opens up for that person. So we have an ability to manage to achieve the intent, even if there are questionable situations, and still serve everyone that comes to us.
Okay, Commissioner Kowal, you're done. Commissioner Woodward.
I've adopted this new policy in the Woodward household, that we speak in proposals, not problems. And so I'm going to try it.
Okay.
So what if we just inject the word Oakland County, like eliminate the Oakland County wait list? Like before wait list is like the Oakland County wait list. Like the whole purpose here is that we had a number that got produced. These were Oakland County numbers.
Mhm.
Doesn't that solve the problem? Does that solve the problem?
oh,
Yeah, it could, yeah.
Do we just, why don't we put Oakland County there?
yes. But if it's
See, I
Oakland-
would tell Alice, this works.
Oakland County wait list, and then get rid of hers who are residents of Oakland County.
Yeah, that would be
works.
perfect. I'd like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Alice,
okay,
this
so,
works.
okay, I will,
Your new therapy works.
I know, right?
Okay, Commissioner Taub.
Where'd you get home?
yeah, okay, Dave, that's a good solution. I will remove my amendment, and who supported it?
I did.
Okay, you want to,
Okay.
your support, that would be fine.
Try to make that motion.
And is that a typo?
Okay,
Is
so
that a
now
typo?
the amendment that's been printed has been removed, so that's
Right.
not before us. Now Woodward.
Well, I
Oh.
think maybe Commissioner Taub can just say, amend to insert the word Oakland County
County
for
wait-
the,
yeah.
well, wait list. Is that a word or a hyphenated word? That's a whole nother, that's a grammar issue, but,
Okay.
but before wait, like wait, at the end of the sentence, eliminate the, insert the word Oakland County wait list for priority 0 individuals.
That sounds perfect. I'll move that. You want to support it,
Okay.
Dave?
I would love to support that.
Okay, it's been moved by Taub, supported by Woodward to, for the new amendment as it's read. And you want to read it to us?
Yeah, so it'll be now therefore be it resolved that the Oakland County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the partnership with the Area Agency on Aging 1B with one-time funding of $600,000 to supplement the community living program services to eliminate the Oakland County wait list for priority 0 individuals.
Good.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good. Any
Perfect.
discussion?
I'm fine. It's good now.
If not, we'll vote on the
Every once in
amendment.
a while, I have a good idea.
Roll call on the amendment.
Crawford?
Yes.
Woodward?
Yes.
Allman?
Yes.
Kowal? Yes. Zach?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Taub?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, now we have the motion as amended, item number 5 as amended. Any questions? If not, call the roll. Whoop.
It's not really a question. I mean, unless people don't really need to know. I mean, I think this came up as a report of Area Agency on Aging to the full group. I mean, you can give the impact. I mean, the stuff that we're able to do here. What's the impact on
just
people's lives?
Brief comment. We've done a study of what the impact is for people on wait lists who get served versus people that don't get served, and we know that these people that will be served under these dollars will change their lives significantly. We know that over the next 2 years, they'll be 5 times less likely to be in a nursing home by getting these services if they didn't. We know that the people who get these services have a longer longevity than the people who go on the wait list and never get off and get services. We know that it affects family caregivers. The family caregivers of these individuals will be 3 times less likely to say that their caregiving responsibilities impact their ability to work than those that don't. And this is offering them between 3 and 10 hours of care a week. So it's a tremendous impact on the lives, and it's a great thing that the Board of Commissioners is doing. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then just like, a comment, I made this in general government. We can't just check the box and say, we're done, we fixed this problem. I mean, we know our population's aging, we know that the needs are gonna only grow. So this addresses a problem that's been presented. It's going to take a lot of people rolling up their sleeves to figure out how we tackle this long term. So I don't want everyone to think that the problem completely resolved. The episode before us concluded, but there's more work to be done.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll on item number 5. As amended.
Fleming?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Woodward?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Zach?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. The next item is item number 6, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security Division Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement for fiscal year 2017 acceptance. Zach is moving it, Crawford is supporting it. 2017, we're a little late.
Yes,
aren't we?
yeah.
Go ahead with an explanation.
Okay, and to my right is Kevin Scheid, who is the new Chief of Homeland Security, here to assist me this morning. So this is a FEMA grant. It's designed to support the national preparedness goal of a secure and resilient nation. It supports training efforts. Homeland Security frequently sponsors training courses that for various incident management for local first responders. They have conducted, it uses funding for active shooter training for police and citizen response and for rescue task force response. Also, the funding is utilized for tabletops and exercises, which is very important for helping to test emergency response plans in the community. And then Homeland Security then has the opportunity to identify gaps in those plans and make recommendations. Also, this provides support for an all hazards emergency operations plan, which they have just finished going through a very intensive update period for that plan. These plans are constantly having to evolve and stay up to date. They just finished that, and it's now under review and under the county executive and awaiting that signature and then filed at the state. And they also use the funding to keep the hazard mitigation plan up to date, which includes input from all of our community partners. And also they're just beginning that process and have several meetings planned to get input from our community partners. This funding reimburses 50% of our manager's salary in Homeland Security, and it requires a 50% match. It's for $53,504, which is $947 more than for fiscal year 16. And as you said, this is funding for 17, and that is a little bit typical for this funding.
Commissioner Zach.
I just want to thank you and highlight how critical this is. And Las Vegas, Boston, bombing, it's all this planning, preparation, going over that protects all of us. And everybody says, the fact that we have this coordinated plan, it helps the response. So thank you for all that you do. And
Well, and all our communities have a plan, though.
Yes.
And in a natural disaster like Puerto Rico and Texas and Florida and those, who initiates that plan? The exec or the mayor of a community, or is it the police department?
It would be, there's a couple layers to this. The county executive would be the person that would enact the emergency operation plan for Oakland County. But each mayor or chief elected official for the local communities can also declare an emergency on behalf of their community. So we work very closely with the locals.
Commissioner Top.
You know, I was really upset by an article in a local newspaper. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Hugh. That said we don't have an emergency plan, and I was beside myself. What is their problem? Why would this come to the forefront? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know
what are you talking about?
There's a local paper in my community and in the Rochester area. No, not the Eccentric.
Well, name it.
Downtown.
Okay.
That said, well, we have, some of our plans are secret, so we really don't have a plan or something. Oakland County is way far behind. And I think.
I didn't see that.
Well, I think that if you can. I think somebody should respond. I can't respond. It's called Downtown. They're in Birmingham, and I haven't called them yet. I haven't had time to, and I've been kind of, sick for that. But I don't understand what they were talking about. It was a whole thing that we don't have any kind of a plan in case of a disaster. And I thought, oh my gosh, we certainly do. So I think maybe somebody needs to take it. It hits the Birmingham, Bloomfield area, and it also goes out to Rochester Hills area.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll look into
Nobody's
it.
seen the article, so make sure that Shelley make
If
sure
I
they
can
get
find
it.
a copy of it, I'll get it to you.
We'll
But
do
if
some-
not, it should be, it's online as
Yep.
well.
We'll
It's an
research
online
it.
deal. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll on item number 6. Oh, wait, Commissioner Bowman has a question.
I've got a point of inquiry. It notes here under revenues, disaster control federal subsidy. Is that an error? Is that supposed to be noted as 53,504 as opposed to 3,504?
We have 50,000 budgeted already, so this
Okay.
is just the increase
Oh,
of
yeah.
what we have in the existing budget. So
Okay.
the total grant and award is 53,504.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just the difference between
Just the
the two.
difference between the dollars. Thank you.
Okay? Okay, any other questions? If not, now call the roll on item number 6.
Woodward,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Caldwell. Yes. Zach,
yes.
Long,
Yes.
Tubb,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes, motion carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is item number 7, County Executive Compliance Office and Parks and Recreation, dedicated auditing support position creation. Need a motion. Crawford is moving it along, supporting it from the Parks Commission, so, okay. Go ahead.
Good morning,
Dan.
Commissioners. Dan Stensel, Executive Officer, Pam Weipert from the County Executive's Compliance Office. This is a position that we have identified as a part-time, non-eligible Auditor 2 position to assist in maintaining the audit process and the results being separated between the two departments and to help with the compliance thereof.
Any questions? Todd has one.
Yeah, the Board of Commissioners has an audit committee. I don't know who's chair of it now. Eileen?
Eileen, you chair of the
Okay,
audit.
your auditing doesn't come under the Board of Commissioners?
This is internal audit.
Internal
That's
audit.
an
Oh,
external audit.
okay.
Yep,
All right, so it's an internal audit. Okay,
correct.
got it.
And it's
Okay.
kind of filling a gap that at one time when there were more full-time resources in the auditing department, they would do periodic internal audits of our department, and that has, now we have the ability to restart that again.
Okay, thank you.
On a more
Thank-
regular basis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, call the roll on item number 7.
Bowman?
Yes.
Cowell? Yes. Zach?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Tubb?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Woodward?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next is item number 8, Board of Commissioners establishment of a school drinking water station program policy. Cobb is moving it, Zach or Woodward. Do you want to support
Sure,
that?
yes.
Yeah, okay. It's been moved and supported. Commissioner Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had the privilege of serving on this subcommittee with Commissioner Woodward and Commissioner Middleton. We've been working on this for some time. The idea is to promote public health and establish positive lifelong nutrition habits with our young children, to provide up to $500,000 for drinking fountains to be put into schools, primarily focusing on children pre-5 to 12 years old, and to educate them on drinking more water and using reusing the water containers. And so we've been working on this for some time, and we've got a policy. Chris Ward and Mike have been working on this quite some time. We've talked to the health department. We've involved Oakland County Schools. We've involved the purchasing department. And we've identified the type of water fountain we want to put in. But today we're just looking at the policy and asking your approval on this school drinking water station program policy, so we can start moving ahead with the formula to put these fountains in the schools.
Okay, Commissioner Colwell, then Commissioner Zach, and then Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but I see a resolution, I don't see any fiscal note.
Because the resolution is being introduced at the Finance Committee. So there's only a fiscal note if the resolution is introduced in another committee. So
Say that again?
This is a Finance Committee resolution. So any budget impact would be incorporated into the resolution. This is just approving a policy, so there's no fiscal
It'll
impact
come
at this
back
point.
to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Commissioner Zach.
I just had a question. There's no question making impact on younger children. Was that a fiscal analysis that we were going to only do elementary schools, or because there was greater impact? I just didn't understand why we wouldn't do a middle school or high school if they were interested.
I think we're just trying to get the impact. There's only so many fountains $500,000 can buy. We were trying to put it in the younger ages where they had the most impact, I think.
There's
The
no
changing
question.
lifestyle, you know.
Well, yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, after Zach, I have Long, then Woodward, then Top.
Well, in Oakland County, I didn't even know elementary schools didn't have drinking fountains.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of elementary schools that don't have drinking fountains?
Oh. They
Okay,
have drinking fountains.
They have
but they're not
drinking
up there.
All right,
fountains,
so what are
Chris.
we doing with these drinking fountains?
This
Because
is-
the water is good?
This is water refill stations. You
Look
know,
at what we
drinking
have now.
fountains, they just, they drink, and this allows also for the water bottles to bring the water bottles in to refill and refill the
okay.
water bottles and
Yeah,
keep it with them during the
I
day.
wasn't privy to this group, so I'm like, I didn't understand this resolution at all. Okay, so this is to fill water, the plastic water bottles?
Or these.
Or what,
Or
reusable
these
water
things,
bottles.
or the- And it's gonna be throughout Oakland County? Or how does a school, how are we picking schools? With the 500,000?
Go ahead,
how we
Commissioner
choose it,
Woodward.
yeah.
Do you want to
Yeah, 'cause
answer?
I-
I can.
you
Go
guys-
ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner Woodward.
Yeah, 'cause we weren't
All
on
right.
the committee, I have no
Right,
idea
so
the resolution.
what this resolution does is adopt a policy so that staff and others can reach out to like where there is interest. So a school district has to identify where there are fountains to be replaced. Yes, there are water fountains. These water fountains in many cases came with the building, in some cases incredibly old. And frankly, when we, a year ago, more than a year ago, stuff breaking down, it's usually at the fixture end. The purpose of this is to not only ensure a good device that can add redundancy and filtration, but actually promote the drinking of more water. So there's a public health benefit without question. We've got antiquated equipment, even here in our own facility, that the water fountain there got replaced because lead detection, in the water. And it was largely probably because of the fixture at the end that was just breaking down. That's, the copper lead rule allowed for some of these, frankly, this equipment to incorporate components that over time will just break down. the water system, the Great Lake Waters Authority, and all the other types of healthy water, good water. This is on the end user piece. So what this what this does is adopt the policy. Staff will then go about reaching out to all school districts and saying, hey, wait, this is what, how many of these devices would you install? There's an expectation to install and then maintain. And to Commissioner Zach's question again, that $500,000 can't do everything. And so we think that we can make a really strong impact in those younger ages where we can have the greatest amount of impact.
Can I just do a follow-up? Do you know how much one of those cost? How many approximately?
Yes, we do.
The one that's right out here.
Yeah, I gotta go look at it and see.
We work with purchasing on this. The idea was to, by bulk purchasing, to buy as many as we possibly could with a one-time purchase. So the numbers they came back with, they were anywhere between, I think, $700 to $1,000. And it depended on how many we bought all at once. So
that would buy a lot of them.
That would buy a lot of them if we bought them all at once. So we wanted to give them at least 2 options depending on the size and basically the hole it creates. And so not all schools and not all schoolrooms are rated equally.
Okay, thank you.
If I just may interject, the county would have no ongoing obligation. Basically, we would do a bulk purchase of these water fountains, put them into the schools that request them, and qualify. And we may not be able to supply all the requests, we don't know. But the filtration, the installation would be a responsibility of the school, and maintaining and changing the filters would be the responsibility of the schools. We're just coordinating the one-time purchase and doing a bulk purchase for as many as we can get.
Okay, Commissioner Woodward. Okay, now I have Commissioner Taub and Crawford.
I have a concern because I think that the goal is to make sure that all children in the county are healthy, okay? Not just certain children, just as at the health department, we don't only immunize public school children, we immunize all children. We don't ask where they go to school. And as a public body that is not a school body, I think we need to include all elementary schools in this county. First come, first serve. I think I have a problem with eliminating parochial schools, private schools, or whatever else you want to call, because those children should have the same benefits of our tax dollars, since we are not a school entity, unless there's something that the law provides that we cannot do this. But yeah, go ahead, Chris. We are spending the tax dollars that all parents donate, so I'm a little bit troubled that we aren't including all elementary school children. And I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't want every child to be healthy in here. Chris?
Yeah, if I could, Mr. Chairman, we actually asked Corporation Counsel to take a look at this question. There are some legal limitations that we have in terms of spending public dollars on private buildings. So I don't think we can go down the road of parochial schools at all in terms of spending public dollars with religious schools at all. There's some gray area in terms of the charter schools, public schools that are funded with public dollars that are charter schools, but the committee spent quite a bit of time taking a look at that and decided that the dividing line would be charter schools that are in publicly funded buildings. So that's the way it's presented to you in this policy document here.
So anything, this board is prohibited from giving any type of funding or whatever to any private organization, putting anything in a private building, is that the deal?
It's a permanent fixture that would be in a private building. That's the tricky question there, of course,
Right.
There's issues with paying for vouchers, and for a religious institution. That's there's numerous constitutional issues with that. So I think there would be the same issue that you would have with paying for a public fixture to be placed into a parochial school.
What public fixture? The drinking fountain?
The drinking fountain.
Because it's coming from public funding.
It's a permanent
It's coming-
enhancement of the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Public funding.
That would be the problem there, and that was the issue. We did ask Corporation Council to take a look at that.
So, when we have people in the treasurer's office fixing up a couple houses so that they can, you know, be rehabbed, and that's against.
Well,
I mean,
those are
that's a
county.
loan. That's a loan that's to be repaid.
Or some of a deed has been taken by the county, that the county owns the property, and we're fixing up our property and then selling it. Right?
So in other words, we only want healthy public school children. That's the end of it, right?
No.
Is there?
No, that's not it.
Not at all. We've been around and around this, Commissioner Todd, and trying to do the most we can with the funding that we have. And just the concern we had in going back to legal counsel was putting a fixture into a non-publicly owned building.
All right, so now let me just ask you this. Would then a private or parochial school have the option to purchase this under our purchase agreement and pay for it? In other words, we get a much better price buying $500,000 worth of stuff. Would they then have the opportunity to purchase it from us at a lower price and then installing it themselves?
Certainly something we could take a look at.
After we adopt this policy, then we can amend it to say, and also available purchase for non-public schools.
We're allowed to use our bond rating because they pay the full price. So I don't think there's a legal.
There's some
objection.
questions that I'm hearing over here that we'd have to take a look at, but I'm sure the committee would be interested in exploring that. You know, we would.
I would appreciate that, because
we'd have to take a look
I
at
don't think
some fiscal issues.
I would suggest that when you go out to and enter into a contract, that you make it available directly to the contractor, but I think they'd have to be a tax exempt entity, because we'd be buying tax exempt.
So, okay.
Yeah, I think we could be the fiduciary.
Policy.
Would be the
And
issue.
then they don't have to pay us, we can just pay the vendor directly, like a cooperative purchasing agreement.
Okay, that would work.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so if
You
we.
might wanna do that anyway, in case the
totally
schools wanna buy
proposals.
more than what we're giving them, so they can buy additional if they want.
I think that's an excellent suggestion, you know, because this money's not going to meet all the needs. But if we can make that option available to others, I think that would certainly help.
Okay, thank you.
At that
Thank you,
price.
Mr. Chair.
Next, I have Commissioner Crawford and then Long. Did I skip you, Long, earlier, or did you have a chance?
No, I have another
Okay.
quick one.
Okay, Commissioner Crawford and then
Yeah,
Long.
a couple of questions. Is this a drinking fountain or is this a water bottle filling station?
Well, if you go out in the hall, it's a drinking fountain. They've replaced the drinking fountain out here in the hall. And there's a provision to get a drink or to fill a water bottle.
Okay, my question is, why can't school children fill their bottle
Maybe 2 weeks.
at a drinking fountain that exists?
Because there's not enough pressure to get it.
Okay. And then my other questions and concerns are, why are we doing this? Why isn't the local school district, why isn't Oakland County Schools doing this? I mean, I'm all for everybody being healthy, I'm not, being a Grinch, but why is the county taking on this responsibility? Why not school districts or Oakland County Schools?
Commissioner Woodward, you
I'm
want
going to
to
jump in. Yeah. So, well, I mean, so this started off a conversation, part of the budget negotiations a year ago, raising out of concerns that were coming up. Frankly, some of it is resources. I mean, some of our school districts just don't actually have the money to put these resources in, competing for a host of other things. And this was a way to help accelerate that. And because of the public health value, it makes sense to do this. Something that we can do. It's something that will improve the health of kids, and for me and everything. My motivation getting involved is that we have the redundancy and filtration that will allow for healthier water.
Also, there's a state funding also that's a grant.
I just don't think it's our responsibility. I think it's the school districts. I mean, why don't we go all around the county and put in basketball courts? Because playing basketball outside is healthy. It's just not our responsibility to do that, in my opinion.
So, okay. Next, I have Commissioner Long and then Commissioner Zach.
Quick, how are we going to promote or market the program to the schools? Did you guys, how are we doing that? So every school knows about it.
Yeah, we're coming together with a application process very similar to what we did with the local road improvement program. We're going to be going directly to the principals and asking them to be the superintendents to be coordinating with the principals from the elementary schools. So we'll be directly coordinating with them, and then we'll actually be working with you as commissioners, hopefully, because we'll have a narrow window of time to ask them to respond.
And I just on a note, sometimes when you go from a higher level of superintendent, it doesn't get down to the elementary school level.
Mm-hmm.
I know it'd be a nightmare and it's hard to do, but when we used to do the field trips, and if I send it to the teachers, like, I never got anything. So we have to make sure that it gets passed along to the principals of which is a lot of schools. But I want to make sure every principal in these elementary schools has make sure the superintendent gives them this information passed down. They get a lot of information, a lot of it does not get passed down when you send it to the top.
Yeah, we're gonna send it out, and then we're gonna do quite a lot of follow-up, because in order for this bulk purchase to work, this is gonna be a one-shot deal. So all the applications have to come in at the same time, all the approvals have to come in at the same time, all the orders have to happen at the same time, and all the deliveries have to happen at the same time. Payment has to happen at the same time. So this has to be a lot of coordination for this to work.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Zach.
I want to address Commissioner Crawford right now. I have to think. Sorry.
Would you like some water?
I'm in the midst of
Commissioners.
Here I am. I carry a bottle of water all the time because you're supposed to drink about 6 to 8 glasses, and it's public health. And our we do promote good health in the county, and we do promote healthy eating, do things for obesity initiatives and so forth. And I am actually appalled that I've tried to fill up my water bottle at this fountain, and you can't get it into the previous fountain, and that I was even getting some lead-based water. So I am thrilled that we are able to promote good, healthy behavior, public health, in conjunction with school systems, and promote that. So I think it's a great one-time opportunity that we are standing behind.
Okay, Commissioner Crawford.
There's probably a lot of great one-time or two-time or whatever time opportunities we could do for the public or for schools, but I just don't think that it's our responsibility as a county to go into schools and provide them with drinking fountains. And maybe if we wanted to bulk purchase and let them buy them back from us at a reduced rate, that might be a lot better than what we're doing now. There's so many things we could do health-wise that we can't be everything to everybody, and it's just not our responsibility, in my opinion. I just can't support using our county tax dollars to provide school district amenities when the school district and/or Oakland County Schools should be doing it.
Okay, Commissioner Todd, I think for the third time.
Well, no, it's not the third time, it's the second time. So, there are private organizations, private companies that own our district courts. And we put in permanent stuff in there, don't we?
If we put permanent stuff in it, well, it would remain with the leasehold. I mean, so you're talking about the Novi District Court, that's leased. And if we make any improvements there, we have to get the approval of the landlord. And at the end of the lease, those permanent improvements would inherit the benefit of the landlord, but I'd have to look at the lease, for instance, of the Novi District Court, see how that's handled.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions on item number 8? If not, call the roll.
Did you?
Oh, what? Eileen?
I'm just a little bit divided here on which way to go.
Okay. What this is doing, it's taken the committee that Wade chaired, Woodward and I have been on it, and now moves it into a finance committee authority, basically.
Right.
And right before that, and it was commented earlier that the committee hadn't seen anything, it was because it was a subcommittee working.
Right.
And so as a report basically back to this, we have a resolution that makes the policy that we worked out is now part of the finance committees under their jurisdiction. So we're moving it from the three-man committee to the finance committee. Yeah, you can kick it around, you can amend it after it gets passed, so.
Yep.
Okay? Now we can call the roll. This is a resolution.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Cowell? Yes. Heck?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Taub?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Crawford?
No.
Woodward?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other issue to come before the board? I got on here. Keith, are you going to, would you talk about this article that was in the Oakland Press?
Can I do something?
Family of slain police informant agrees to $1 million settlement. And,
What?
oops,
I don't read
okay.
newspaper.
It was in the Oakland Press. From
Yeah, well, I don't read the Oakland Press. I will say that out loud, I don't read newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Keith.
Good morning. What's involved here, first of all, I want to point out that this was an insured loss. Unfortunately, well, as you probably aware, the sheriff's office has narcotics enforcement team, which is really a multi-jurisdictional force. It involves officers from various police departments around the county, which the sheriff's department directs, and ultimately the sheriff's office, as a result of that, is potentially exposed to liability. And when this all got off the ground, there are interlocal agreements with the various municipalities. A decision was made to insure this type of operation because of the potential exposure. And this was an insured loss. Unfortunately, here we had a Madison Heights officer was involved in a drug buy with a confidential informant. He engaged in conduct that this confidential informant gave information about a drug dealer. Well, the conversation was such that the drug dealer found out who the confidential informant was. And the drug dealer, pretty bad actor, killed the confidential informant, dismembered her body, and burned it. He is now in prison serving a sentence of in excess of 25 years. It's in excess of 25 years. I'm not necessarily tracking what his sentence is, but he's a bad actor, obviously. Our net policy has an insurance deductible of $25,000. Our attorney's fees actually come out of that. Our deductible was exceeded here just based on the handling of the case. For attorney's fees, it was handled by Steve Potter's office. We filed a motion in district court in Ann Arbor asking the case be dismissed. The U.S. District Court judge refused. We took it to the Sixth Circuit. The Sixth Circuit refused to overturn what the lower district court did. So we were faced here with a situation of potentially trying a case where someone was murdered, dismembered, and burned. The case was facilitated. The settlement was agreed upon, and when you have insurance, it's really up to the insurance carrier to decide whether to settle or not. We did not object to the settlement. Actually, we probably wouldn't even have a right to object to the settlement anyway, but the insurance carrier decided to resolve the matter for slightly in excess of $1 million. We can't keep these kinds of settlements confidential. We did put a provision in the settlement agreement which put some limitations on whether the plaintiff can publicize it, but as you may recall from the Kwame Kilpatrick days, our ability, even though this was insurance funds, it's insurance funds that are paid for by the county, our ability to keep these things confidential is pretty limited. We received a FOIA request a few weeks back. I responded to the FOIA request on Tuesday as the county's FOIA coordinator. The article in the Oakland Press appeared on Wednesday. It was authored by the same person that submitted the FOIA request. So this all happened relatively quickly. But the bottom line is the Sheriff's Department is exposed on these net operations. We have insurance coverage to take care of it. This was an insured loss, and for that reason, you know, we don't go through the normal process of Claims Committee, Finance Committee to get approval of these settlements because it's insurance money and the insurance carrier decides whether to settle these cases or not.
Okay, sure. Could I add something? Yeah. Everything he said is absolutely true. The Madison Heights officer, I'd like to let you know though, acted outside of, in my opinion, the scope of his authority. His department detached him and had him go on a special mission down at the Knights Inn in Madison Heights. Our sergeant that supervised the crew knew absolutely nothing about it. We would have never approved this operation, but they went off and freewheeled it, and that's fine, and we've talked to the police chief about that, and it won't occur again, but when those officers from the local departments are attached to us, they work for us and are supervised by us. We had nothing to do with this, but we got left holding the bag, is what it boils down to. Net had nothing to do with this. He now works at the Warren Police Department.
Now he's Dwyer's problem. Okay, Commissioner Colwell, did you have anything?
No, my question was what happened to the officer, so. That's what's been going on.
I don't know whether he was,
I
I can't tell you whether he was internally disciplined at Madison Heights or not. I just know he now works for the Warren Police Department.
Yeah, okay, well.
Okay, Commissioner Top. Commissioner Top.
Is there any way, I mean, we're left holding the bag, but it was really there, doesn't Madison Heights have any responsibility for
They
this?
paid, I don't know what they paid.
Well, the newspaper article said they paid $20,000. The article said 20. But that's, you know, it's part of the operation. We have interlocal agreements. We can't, I mean, there's an issue as to whether we, you know, municipalities can indemnify each other. As a result of that uncertainty, a decision was made back, a while back, certainly before I was Corporation Counsel, that we would insure this. Insurance was obtained with a $25,000 deductible. We have $5 million limits. This is the largest net settlement that comes to my mind. Since we've had the policy, we've had some other settlements, but nothing approaching this. But it's, you know, insurance was obtained, and that's how this was handled, consistent with the insurance policy.
So we are not self-insured on this thing?
We are not.
Okay, that's what I want, that was another one of my
Right.
questions.
Well, we're self-insured to the extent of our deductible, which is $25,000.
Yeah, which doesn't come to us, okay.
Right.
Okay, Commissioner Crawford.
Yeah, who received the money? Is it a family of the murdered woman?
2/3.
Yes, it was, there's a procedure, the federal court approved it. It's divided amongst her family members. Actually, part of the funds were structured for her family members, which means it's gonna be paid out over time. But there's a procedure where a court, either state court or federal court, has to approve how it's being distributed to her heirs. That's probably how the reporter found out about what was going on here, caused him to submit the FOIA request, caused me to respond to it, and caused this to be on the front page of the Oakland Press earlier this week. But it's going to her heirs, her mom. I think maybe she had some brothers and sisters, that sort of thing.
Okay.
The case was prosecuted in Wayne County. When you asked about the 25 years, that was a Kim Worthy case, so I don't know. The murder occurred in Detroit.
Okay, if there's no other business to be brought up, go
Yes.
ahead.
I would like to thank you, Tom, for
Oh,
these
I was-
magnificent gourds. They are absolutely huge and gorgeous, and they're new ones. He's never made them like this, so thank you.
Commissioner Woodward.
We made a comment during, and for people who are still watching, about the downtown paper, and there's an extensive article that's on there, but I guess I want to be very clear that I haven't read the whole thing, but the opening paragraph very much says Oakland County Homeland Security has extensive emergency plans and hazard mitigation preparation, as do a lot of our local communities. It raised the question that if there was a massive communication effort, that we'd probably have to rely on good neighbor policy to get the word out. And so I just what I'm saying, like, it goes on and on and on, talking, and our Homeland Security is quoted about what we do and what we have. I have not read the end of it. I just don't want it to
No.
This
The end
article
of
doesn't
it-
read to me that it says
the
we
end
don't
of it
have a
was-
plan.
The end of it was disturbing. It said, yeah, we have those things, but we don't have an evacuation plan and that type of stuff. You'll have to read the whole article, Dave.
Okay, Commissioner Crawford.
Just a quick announcement, we have an airport meeting, so Dave, Chris, Eileen, right now,
Got it.
since we're adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, and there's gourds here for anybody that wants them and bags to put them in, so. Okay, our next finance meeting will be October 11th, just before the board meeting. We have to take up a Parks and Rec issue. And then at the October 19th
Okay, that
meeting,
could be.
Bob
Yeah, 'cause-
Datto's gonna update us on the Great Lakes water.
I mean,
So, with that, I will declare the meeting adjourned without objection. Thank you.